Hey, welcome to this Aggressors Ancient Rome gameplay video. If you love 4X games, then don't miss a minute of what's coming up. Well, hey, welcome. We're going to do something today. It's a little bit, well, maybe I shouldn't say it's different, but it's a different take on my love of ancients. Whoops, oh, playing with the volume here. Well, as I was saying, my love of the ancients, which I, usually do in Field of Glory 2. This time we're going to play Aggressors Ancients Rome, and this is specifically meant for the guys at the Facebook group Computer War Games Tactical Strategic. Great group. If you're not a member, you ought to check it out. I will link it in the description. Computer War Games Tactical to Strategic. Come and see us if you're not one of those guys. Okay, so let's talk about this a moment before we get into it. I've played, I don't know, maybe 200 turns in custom games, not the Mediterranean. What you've probably seen. If you've seen anything of this, you see, the Mediterranean map, and then the Romans and everybody else, Carthaginians, a whole bit. But this game really intrigues me because it's kind of like Civilization, except it stays in the ancient era, which is something I've always wanted since 1992, playing Civ DOS. Yeah, and I remember thinking all those years ago, this would be really cool if we started off as barbarians and advanced no further than maybe the late ancient era. That way you won't have all these gigantic technological changes from stone knives and bear skins to nuclear weapons and spaceship. We're gonna see cities being founded and civilizations grow, but you get right down to it, it's still muscle power, and the technology is still of that ancient era. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, do I? So we're going to go ahead and get in here. I don't claim any particular expertise. I think I've kind of got the mechanics down. Just before I started this video, I found myself digging around in the game settings, and there's actually some pretty neat controls for the. Ooh, look, there's more I haven't even seen. Lots of good stuff for the UI and graphic settings and game settings, and it's just oh, look at that, I could even change the number of autosave files. Wow, let's maximize that. Anyway, so I've kind of been customizing it a little bit because I'm UI sensitive. I get user interface poisoning fast. So anyway, let's just play the game. Again, we can jump into the ancient Mediterranean, and it'll kind of look like this. Pick your empire, and it's very cool. But the problem I have with it, at least I had with it when I first got started with it, was I didn't know enough about the game to understand what was happening, because we already started with relatively advanced civilizations, several cities and technological advances and stuff, and diplomacy, I'm totally lost. So let's do what I always loved or wanted to have in a game of this era. Let's set up a custom world and go. So let's, I'm kind of tempted to do a small world so this doesn't run forever. So let's do a small world. Map type is balanced. Now that you have all these options, I'm kind of tempted to go with Pangea. That'll start a fight fast. That'll start a fight fast, and doesn't stress the naval stuff quite so much. Continents might be a good compromise. Balanced is a lot more water, and then obviously you come all the way out to archipelago, bunch of small islands, and yeah, that would be tough. That would be real tough. Continents represent a world where land masses separated by small, large bodies. The variability of land masses makes access to other parts of the world and components more difficult. Pangea, on the other hand, very few individual islands. Game pace is fast with many conflicts. Relatively fast development due to good access to the rest of the world. What the heck? Let's go with the Pangea. I've already been beaten down in this game multiple times, so why not? You can change the map climate from Eden, which is a world of plenty, to barren, and that would be kind of grim. We'll just stick with standard. Difficulty, medium is the second one up, and I have taken beatdowns. And on easy, it seemed to be kind of boring. What the heck? Let's go with that. Let's go with medium. Development, well, you can start off underdeveloped, which looks like you would start off with, probably a nomad, which is a kind of a cross between a settler and a basic military unit. We'll get into that in a little bit. For barbarian, which you end up with a handful of units and no urban. So let's go with barbarian, where we kind of start with something. Otherwise, we have a lot of turns just hitting enter while we wait for things to build. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You have a starting turn at 500 BC all the way up to 500 AD, or actually from 1000 BC to AD 500. So let's just stick with the standard. Mouse wheel, mouse wheel, mouse wheel, mouse wheel, mouse wheel. And after playing with it a little bit, I'm going to kick it up to 2 years a turn, so it's only a 250 turn game. This setting determines the pace of the game, which is closely related to technological development. Low speed means a slow-paced game simulating historical reality, whereas higher speed means for faster development. Let's kick that up, not too much. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 settings. Let's kick that up 1. Game balance. Player advantage, resource abundance, now you've seen this kind of thing before. Diplomatic relations. This applies for players whose states share borders. Low values mean more unfriendly attitudes. Higher values mean friendlier attitudes. My experience is everybody's angry at you at the beginning. Everybody's angry at you. Independent cities. Number of cities that do not belong to anybody. We'll leave that alone. Set government. Setting determines if all players start with the same government unchecked, or if the administrative systems will differ depending on technological development. I'm not sure how much effect that'll have starting at 500 BC with the barbarian, but we'll leave it alone. And then victories, military superiority, technological development, and country development. Now, honestly, I'm pretty sure I don't understand this. Last game, it kept telling me, oh, you're 80% toward a military victory, and all I'd done was build some units. And I have a hard time believing that if I just build the biggest army, suddenly I win. But I could be wrong, but I'm going to leave it on. This is a learning experience for me. I've only got so much time in the day. And if I play this until I am expert before I make a video, nobody will remember it. It'll be old news. Game options, we're going to leave them all alone without going into them too deeply. Apparently, objectives is campaign game only. You can have raids, and people flee cities with low happiness, and random events, and we're going to leave it alone. We're going to go with the full thing. And we're going to pick the Roman Republic, and we're going to get started right now. Now, I know I'm really deep into this to make this request, but hey, if you like this sort of thing, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell notification, share with your friends, and let me know what you think. All right, let's zoom out. We've got a small map. We're down in a corner. That's kind of nice. Now, this is part of the UI that I kind of like, because out here I can see, and it's clear that that's an iron mine, that's gold, that's coal, and that's stone. But when you zoom in, the only one that's really obvious to me is that looks like gold, and I guess that's iron because you see the red rusty stuff, and that's really not clear at all. But yeah, I just, the first few times I played this, I was always going, what am I looking at? I'm not too fond of those graphics. They're just not clear enough. But out here, well, by God, now I get it. Stone, coal, gold, iron, I'm for it. Now we start with a Nomad, and we want more information on him. We can click there. He's got an attack value of 2, a defense value of 2, and a movement value of 2. Current number of attacks, current number of defenses. He's a forager and he's self-sufficient, so 10,000 soldiers. This gets more detail as you get into other things. The interesting thing about this guy is he's kind of like a settler in that he can settle and create a city, but he can't do all the other things that a settler does. Like this is the real deal settler. Okay, he's got a defense value and a movement. He can't attack, but he can do all kinds of things like build towns and build dirt roads and build routes, and he can chop down trees, and he can, so he's very useful. And at this point in the game, I think he's too useful to expend making a city. We got all our resources in reach. It's really kind of pretty. We've got plains and grass all around, so we can build lots of farms. That's something else that the settler can do that the Nomad cannot. And so we're going to keep him to do those things. Now we've got all our resources: gold, coal, stones, iron, food, wood, knowledge, influence. No citizens because they're all standing around in units, not in a city. And happiness. This is the build facility. I have the temple, but won't be building a temple anytime soon. Cool building. We'll get to it. This is the state menu. It tells us all the things that we can do: inform relations, trade, the government type, research. There is no capital. State decisions, which are kind of like cards you get to play when they become available. Get back in here. Resource usage, player statistics, history replay, objectives. We don't have to worry about that. Birth rate policy, which is an important thing, although I don't fully understand. If I go this way, I get more births, but I'm not sure what I pay. The impact of granted birth rate cannot be exactly predicted in advance. So, if you read that, it says support the reduced population growth by cities by using state grants varying from very low to very high. This incentive is then distributed among the cities by using local grants, and the impact on the birth rate cannot be predicted. On the other hand, higher birth rates and growing population require more resources, especially gold, food, and stones. So you got to stay on top of its effect on your resources. I'll probably kick that up pretty high because you got to have bodies to build units, and that's a pretty tight restriction. So we're just chattering along here, and there's still more to see. Got color overlays, basically map modes. We can get rid of the fog if you don't like that, or if it reduces impact on your rig. Which, don't think about it, if I play this on my 6-7-year-old laptop, that's probably a good thing to change. You turn on or off the top map view, or you can just zoom out to it. You can turn off the map grid. Now I kind of like the map grid, so I'm gonna turn it on. Your mileage may vary. Supply area, you can turn it on and off. A terrain color overlay, which basically changes the textures. And honestly, as I watch that, for the life of me, I'm not real sure what it's trying to tell me. We'll leave it on, doesn't matter. All right, we're going to get started. I don't think I want it. This is the classic civilization dilemma. Do you start? Do you found a city where you start despite the disadvantages? And the disadvantage here is that I've got this resource where I could be building farms. Or do I move and give up a turn? I think in this case, since everything looks so good all around them, and believe me, I've seen really bad starts, we're going to go ahead and build a city. And since we're playing the Romans, I'm going to do something. Rome? Rome, R-O-A-M. Yay! We're going to start with Roma, because why would you have anything else? Now, what else do we do? Well, connecting these resources to the city with roads are very important, but roads cost money. Well, they cost wood. We can take a look. We select him and tell him to build a dirt road. If you look down there, it says -1 wood and 0.08 stone. Well, we've got wood and stone going. We've got plenty right now. But I think what I'm going to do to get started is kick off a... Well, let's see. Is he standing someplace where he can't... Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm going to start building farms, but I can't. This is where we need to jump into research. Now, research works a little differently. You don't start researching and build knowledge till you get enough knowledge. You build up your knowledge, which is related to the number of people you have, until you have enough to do the research, and then the research takes a while. So we're going to do cultivation, because going to monarchy right off the bat doesn't make much sense. I think we got to begin building our food basis. Now, see, we start with a nomad city, coal mines, self-sufficiency, but we have assault for weapon skills, we have religion, so we can build a temple, exploration, so we can build a settler, coinage, so we can have trading, sailing for boats, which won't matter much in this game, milites, so that for a standing army, and now we're going to research cultivation. Now we can make it take longer, which, if you look up there, reduces its demand on your resources. If you take a look, this is cool. This is one of the best features. It immediately gives you feedback on the impact of your decision. I'm going to go for the maximum impact and minimum time. I need to get this cultivation under control. And in the meantime, we will move him to Rome and build our first road. Now, the only other thing we could possibly do is, if I could select Rome, please, we could build another unit. Well, yeah, we could. I don't want to build another unit, and I'm kind of. I got to be careful here. I'm gonna go crazy. We could build another unit, but we don't have the resources, so it doesn't matter. We really can't. All we can do at this point is hit the enter button, and he's finished the first road. And we're gonna go over here, and we're going to build another dirt road, watching our resources, because pretty soon he's going to have to go logging. Wood seems to be a really important resource. Okay, Rome is still actually building itself. That's what this is, I believe. And there's not much else to do. So this early game is a whole lot of... All right, now we're going to get a lot of these. It's complaining about citizen loyalty. Quite honestly, I don't want to see it. Buy the game, deal with it. It keeps complaining and telling me why I've got low loyalty. Yeah, I know I do. And the right way to fix that right now is to build another Nomad, which, if I select Rome, it says it cost me 10 population, which I don't have, and 5 gold, which I do have. I can't build anything right now. We're just going to have to live with this loyalty issue. It's not a big deal. It's not low enough, I don't think, to matter. All right, now I'm going to tell it to build a settler to build a route to the gold mine. And that'll give him something to do for a couple, 3 turns. And off we go. Okay, he is still building, and off we go. All right, new technology is complete. Now, connecting these increases their output if they are in the influence of the city. And I haven't quite gripped all of that. Bottom line is roads are good, you move fast, and connecting resources to cities or within, I don't know, 3 hexes or something, 3 squares, is a good thing. Right now, what I need to do is, let's take here, let's see, I'm using food. My surplus, I netted minus 0.66 last round. The population's starting to grow, and that reminds me, while we're here, let's kick that in the butt because we want some population. Should have done that already. That means we're going to have to get back down here when he's done and start building some fields. So notice he's able to move in there and now do that because the road left him enough action points to go to work. So it's okay. Does this remind you of anything? Are we playing Civilization? I mean, it's the same thing, only different. All right, and we're going to do that again. This time we're going to stay. Let's go over here. That also reveals that he still had enough action points to go to work. Got to watch. All right, wood did not change. Gold is going up a little bit. Everything is going. We're collecting our resources. Food has actually gone mildly positive, and our knowledge is beginning to build. Our influence is building, and our population is going up kind of slowly, but it's happening. All right, and we'll go build one, but he didn't have enough action points. Yeah, I want a peace treaty with Epirus. I don't even know where they are, but I don't want to fight right now. This is one of the coolest systems. All right, this shows you army morale of the Roman Republic toward Epirus is decent. I don't even have an army. Our attitude of envoys from Epirus is friendly, and it's made. If you look at it, it even shows you the factories. Internal. Oh, come on, mouse. Okay. Can I hang it somewhere? There. You know what? If I take my hand off the mouse, it's crazy. Internal administrative changes. We don't know why. It's really good for internal administrators. Unknown, we don't know. Mortal enemy, peace sign, lasting war. You know, those are different factors. Their population is about the same as ours. Their economy is much better. Go figure. This is the AI advantage because I don't know what I could have done to make any difference. Our military power is about the same, and the countryside is about the same. We can sign all kinds of treaties. City visibility tile, supply support map, exchange homeland, road uses, defense pact, brother, and arms. So although I think it's probably useless, and the more you pester them diplomatically, the more you irritate them, I think. Let's propose that since we're such friends, we share some information. And we've got no ongoing trades. We'll worry about that later if we really become friends. All right, now I want to build another farm. If you take that, right now farms cost gold only. I could live with that. The other thing you can see is, let me deselect this guy. You can see that you get a scrolling list of things that are happening over here. That's kind of useful. It's very useful. And we build another farm. So let's see where we stand. Well, they didn't they rejected our treaty. And you see it's cordial. I don't remember whether that's better than friendly, but we're still okay. We're not going to do anything to piss them off right now. I don't want to fight. I'm not interested. Just not interested in having it out with them. All right, our food. Okay, you see again on the left that scrolling things of things that are happening. I really feel the need. Let's see. Wood's okay. And do I just go ahead and try to support? At this point, we could actually build another unit because we have over 10,000 guys. So if I select Rome, another thing I can do is I could build an improvement, in this case defense or trading. Um, the tutorial says it's easier and it's cheaper and maybe more effective, I don't recall, just to let the city do itself. The cities have governors and they will do these things, but if you really want something like trading, you can do it now. It'll cost me 12 gold, 2 gold, 12 stones, 7 iron. Or I can go for defense and increase the city's defense for 4.5 stone and some gold. I think, given my experience with the game, and it costs 3 turns. I'm not sure I want to do that, but let's take a look. We could also build a Nomad, which would cost me 10 citizens and 5 gold. Well, the 5 gold's okay, but 10 citizens leaves me with 0.3, and my knowledge growth is based on the number of citizens I have. I'd go from 11 to 0.3 with a 0.61 growth per turn. I think I'm going to wait a little while and go ahead and, just for fun, say, hey, why don't you build defense? And hopefully we can get away with not needing military anytime soon. All right, well, look, we're at 26 minutes. We are 4 turns in. I think we're going to put a cut in it right here, and we'll continue this again soon. I hope you're learning something. You can tell I'm still learning it and having a good time. I have high hopes for this game. I just haven't quite decided what I think, but we shall see over the course of this playthrough. And thanks for watching. See you again soon. Hey, thanks for watching. If you click on that picture of very young Waz, you'll be subscribed so you'll never miss another video. Then click on that bell notification button and please share and comment. See you again soon.